You did not tame the first dog. No human ever walked into the wild and picked a wolf to be a friend. It happened the other way around. To see how, you have to go back more than 20,000 years.
There are no farms, no villages, no metal, no writing. Small bands of humans hunt across a cold open land, and in the dark beyond their fires, wolves are watching. These are not pets.
A single wolf could kill a grown human. So how did this monster end up asleep on your couch? It starts with garbage. Wherever humans went, they left a trail of waste behind them.
Bones, scraps, the leftovers of every hunt. To a hungry wolf, that pile of rubbish was a feast. But most wolves were far too frightened to come close. The moment they caught a human scent, they bolted.
A few wolves, though, were born a little less afraid. They could creep a few steps nearer the fire than the rest, and those bold wolves ate better than the ones who ran. Better-fed wolves survived the winter and raised more pups. Those pups inherited the very same calm around people. Generation after generation, the friendliest wolves won. Not the biggest wolf and not the strongest, the friendliest. But why wolves? Why not bears, or big cats, or wild horses? Because wolves were already strangely like us. Wolves live in families and hunt as a team. They share their food and follow a leader. They read each other's moves, the way we read a crowd. A wolf already knew how to cooperate. It simply needed a new pack to join. And that pack was us. We know this self-taming can really happen because a scientist made it happen on purpose. In 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev began an experiment in Siberia. He took ordinary wild silver foxes and he bred them for one single trait. Not size, not color, only friendliness toward humans. Each generation, only the calmest foxes were allowed to have pups. Within just a few generations, the foxes transformed. They wagged their tails and licked the hands of the keepers. They whined when the humans walked away. Then something stranger happened to their bodies. Their ears went floppy and their tails curled up. Their coats broke into patches of white. Belyaev selected for friendliness alone and grew the shape of a dog. And this is the strangest part of all. Nobody designed the dog. The first dogs were never bred by humans. They bred themselves, simply by choosing to live beside us. We did not domesticate the wolf. The wolf domesticated itself to be near you. And here is why it was dogs and almost nothing else. Every other animal we tamed came much later. Sheep, goats, cows, and pigs were all domesticated after farming began. We rounded those animals up on purpose for meat, milk, and wool. But the dog came first, thousands of years before the first farm. The dog was never a project. The dog was a friendship that happened by accident. Yet every friendship has its price. To live with us, the wolf had to surrender the wild. The fierce, clever hunter slowly became dependent on people. We bred them softer and softer with every passing century. Until many dogs today cannot truly survive with us. Some breeds can barely breathe or give birth on their own. The gentleness that once saved them is now a cage they cannot open. And still, look down at the dog beside you. 20,000 years ago, its ancestor was a monster in the dark. Today, it rests its head on your knee and waits for you to come home. That bond was never planned by anyone. No human chose the first dog, and no dog was forced to stay. Two lonely species just met in the dark and chose not to be afraid. You did not tame the first dog. You only inherited the friendship it began.